As the Victorian period was coming to an end, fashion became even more restrictive during the 1890s. A tiny waist was even further emphasized than it was during the bustle period, and the average corset waist during this period could be 18.5 inches. Now, these tiny waists were set off with simple bell-shaped skirts. The skirts had to be pretty simple because the extreme element of costume had moved from the posterior during the bustle period up to the shoulders with imposing leg-of-mutton sleeves. Some of these sleeves could be so large that they required 2.5 yards of fabric each. Now, they were so named because they resembled a leg of mutton. They were big puff sleeves at the top of the shoulders, and they tapered down to the wrist. And they were actually a reincarnation of a style seen during the Romantic period of the 19th century. Now, this style was very architectural. Fabrics were stiff, they were starched, and they were muted in tone. Day wear was usually less embellished than evening wear, and bodices were typically the more embellished of the two. Now, this is the period also when women's ideals are starting to change. Because the bicycle was very popular during the 1890s, women were starting to become more and more active. So this was the Victorian period's last hurrah of restrictive clothing before the Edwardian period ushered in a new silhouette. Children's fashion often resembled the adult fashion of the day, but this is a period when children are getting more and more of their own designs because children needed to be able to play and not just be restricted, though young girls did wear almost stay-like stiff bodices underneath to grow into those narrow waists of the adult period. Now, Kate Greenway was a children's illustrator who was active during the time, and her illustrations actually started to really influence children's wear during the period. And Fauntleroy suits and sailor suits also became popular for boys.